for your call. Everybody would have submitted the form for SP Jain, which is a key input into the final selection. One request, please be on mute if you have a question. If you have, please write it in the chat window and we'll answer the question for you. Otherwise, be on mute, helps the seminar. Okay. From the perspective of the session today, what we'll do is, I have with me Vineet, BTech from Delhi College of Engineering and then his management course from SP Jain. Vineet career spans around, automobile and education organizations. He's worked with Tata Motors, Hero Honda, Culture and Pearson as well. His inclination towards writing has made him come up with his book in the form of Staring at Infinity. Vineet, over to you. Would you like to add something?
Thank you. First of all, congratulations, as Ankita says, to all of you, and wish you all a very happy new year. And as you stand on 15th of this year, by the 30th April of this year, you have a clear path, a direction for your career. Talk about SP Jain, but I'm sure all of you would have got calls from other institutes as well in subsequent rounds of interfaces that you have from different institutes, and please ensure that you are at the selection board of a year, which means from 3 or 4 institutes, and then call, I should join this or I should join that. Right? After this, on this positive note, guys, wish you all the best. May you do best in all your pursuits in the coming time. Right. If we look at what is SP Jain, it's Institute of Management Research, was inaugurated in 1981 by the British Prime Minister, Ms. Margaret Thatcher. It's been one of the leading B schools because of some change in the curriculum that it has brought. Advantage of being a private MBA institute was that you were able to edit, modify your curriculum based on the industry needs, which you were a government institution, you would have a long based committees to get their approvals from. So that was one positive point. And second, being in Mumbai, you are close to the commercial capital of India. So a big range of visiting faculty members who can share live industry experiences. And one thing about SP Jain is that Saturday, Sunday is thing which you would be very eagerly, anxiously, because that's where you would learn management, people practice beyond the both sides of the classroom. Right. From what we is SP Jain, we move on to the next slide. Come on the first point here, commitment to diversify into socially relevant segments. There's one element of development of corporate citizenship which comes as one fundamental part of SN curriculum, or it has been in the past. You have two different forms in life. Students have to buy buses, buy cars, buy aeroplanes, whatever. One aspect of a socially relevant point is how feet grounded when you take the mantle of a manager. Anything you do with social responsibility associated with it. So keeping piece of social development, social angle into SP Jain has developed things which make it course much more, at least I would say, at least I my feet grounded certain realities of life, possibly which I had not seen after my engineering or a job with Tata Motors, but SP Jain to make me realize that. Architecture to respond to development administration. So that's more to do a responsible person who's taking decisions, not knowing or worked an Excel sheet, but also evaluating what has been the act of decisions that, or what are the impacts my decisions are going to put across. Develop pedagogic innovations which are strategic strength of institute. Said being an independent private institution, a lot of R&D evolving there. And to the individual areas such as marketing, finance, operations, information management. Mumbai had the best visiting, which were practicing what they were teaching. So programs that you have full-time residential programs, family managed businesses, executive education, social sector management, on the global program. So I'll not much on this. I'll just highlight the first 2 points here, which have been written in red, and that's here for. So the points, it's more of go for the you will keep learning there. Campus based SP Jain campus is based in Andheri West, near Anna. It largely in the Bhavans campus in Andheri. It has about 45 acres of land. In terms of the facilities that you get there, and there's always life. And I got here from students now is where it's always life with what you inside the classroom is much lesser than what you learn outside the classroom. Later discussing executive training centers, state of audio and video equipment. So these are things which will happen as we progress. Growth and commitment. I think we discussed this thing. We'll do the next one. Slide 5. Structure that we were talking about. Generally goes as program and synopsis. Postgraduate diploma in management is a 2-year course. 3 bachelor's degree in any discipline are recognized. This is a standard thing which we talk about. A CAT score of 85 percentile. Right? I would not say 85 percentile is a data here, because we can also look at a couple of things which would cross certain elements with you. One thing is SP Jain largely looks at your ethics, or you are, how responsible you are, and how much you are. I'll tell you 2 of my batchmates in SP Jain. One, the campaign of Pantene shampoos when they were launched in India, PNG shampoos. I was a national skating champion in the juniors category. So, type of diversity you would get, but yes, you need to be grounded, you need to be mature, you need to be responsible. That is what you're going to conduct, what you should be expressing in your interviews as we perform. Financial finance operations, marketing, information management. I'm sure I'll not delve much on this. You all must have gone through the websites and the brochures and stuff and all. I think I spend much more time on putting it across. Dial 70 girls, 60 boys. That's actually the ratio of the most of the institutes in the country. In 88, again, notching background 47. So that's more in sync with the trend of 10, 15 MBA institutions. So that's not very different. For yes, they are there. Percentile and above have brighter chances of getting a call, guys. There's a composite score which depends on your percentile, your class 12th and class 10th marks. But when you fill the form for SP Jain, it also keeps large. So, in your interview, you carry yourself with maturity, you carry responsibly, and answer to the questions which you think answer possible to you. It should not happen that your tongue speaks one language and your body language speaks the other one. If that's a deterrent for any even the 99 percentile to get through. So keep those in mind. These are program details. Ankit, I think we'll come back to that later if there are specific rules, because I don't think at this stage they're more interested to know about how things are working. So that's fine. PGPM, placement statistics. Getting on the placement statistics. In today's newspapers, magazines, you guys reading them day in and day out. I'll not do tom about SP Jain here. Not I'm from SP Jain or not.
13, 15 basically. Yeah.
You have much more information
13, 15, so you can
on this.
Yeah.
So this is just one data in front of you. Let's not take it further. Details, right, has sector breakup, general management, consulting, finance, marketing, and all these things are there. We'll not delve much on this one. Selection criterion, yes, this is something which you should be catering to, listening to. Score 85 percentile is fairly decent, as what they say, or 650 in GMAT. But have only will not get through. You should be exceptional somewhere. I got somebody telling me last year that we had somebody who was for the interview at about 88 percentile or something, or 91 percentile or something. I said, fine, there must be something exceptionally well with that candidate that he or she was called even at that percentile. So along that, if you have been called, those you have had, there's something in you why SP Jain has considered you. Have that faith in yourself. Identify in you and leverage that element, that positivity in the issues that you have. This is, I think, all of you would be keen to know. Round 1, round 2 interviews. The following consider round 1. Academic performance. So academic performance is your class 10th, class 12th, and graduation. If P is also there, they'll take that. Experience. Actually, it is said about SP Jain that WorkX is something that they prefer, or the percentage of people is from WorkX. My batch had about 20. WorkX. And out of the 20% less than 1 year, so less than 1 year is not considered WorkX anywhere. So with about 35 to 40% batch with less than 1 year WorkX, they were selected there because they had something exceptional with them, or they were having that air of maturity, which was having any arrogance, but rounded down to a personality. So, as we delve deeper into this aspect, what SP Jain is looking for, we are getting those elements.
Guys hear me?
What you don't have to be a Mr. India or Miss India. Personality here means how you carry yourself. Ability and achievements, we've already spoken about it. SP Jain does have that versatile batch of theirs. Test scores, here's under the last point. So it should that they're not given any weightage, but yes, SP Jain requires test scores as a fundamental thing, but over and above the test scores, 5 elements are differentiators or add-ons, which can add value to your interviews. From are able to present yourself constantly in sync with your strengths. That's round 1. Now, to qualify first round, are we another round 2. Now, read those 3 words. They are much stronger and much sharper opposite character that they will ask you. We already discussed that. Overallity. Now, you could singer, but then the good manager. Here, overall personality means the type of corporate personality. If it had up by an MBA institute, use basics. So, keep a selection process. Guys have always had a problem that people who would rush for the interview and reach there 10-15 minutes before the interview. Work on the working day for you. Take a day. Times at least that day you will be free from any tension. Once there'll be a verification. Registration is more of a verification of documents, and you're saying that you're there. One which is to check the identity frauds which happen everywhere in India. So don't take anything of these different points. Such and a written communication test. Manage to be good, have good writing skills. These are and psychologically how well you shape up there. Group interview, we've discussed that. And listed group 2 interview. Of course, final scores after that. So this is very well written. So the last 2 points are the ones we're going to discuss, because first 4 points you already have available. What are in your life? The third step is more of getting forces where you cycle what you actually are and writing communication skills. Just open them, and when you're writing them, please see that you don't make any horrid grammatical mistakes. Mistakes may be, but just avoid making horrible ones, because that's where somebody would generally get psyched off. The concept of 2 specializations. Why so? A, that it gets a choice. Even am I actually fit? Because I'll just share one example with you. Man wants to be a cricketer, but school teacher said that he's a good football player, so he should go to football. Now, but I asked my son, it's always the cricket, because he's heard so much about cricket that he got meant towards being a cricketer. So this specialization is a safeguard against we are guided by the backlog of information captured from society and goodness of fit, which we normally talk about. Just the title is why 2 specializations, but it talks about psychometric test here, 15 minutes test, essaying, ethics, values, goals, extrovert nature. So yeah, as that writing you could get 20-30 would need to express your opinion on it. Writing or my physics book by XY Nelson and Parker was the best book. There you write a physics book or a Chetan Bhagat book. What you read about it, what you learn about that book, and how you're thinking about from that book, or what were your learnings. So have a bit of an analytical approach while writing all these things. Of course, English being the parameter. Is management study still a better option? Analysis is required. Should course be removed from secondary school curriculum? Yeah, things where your analysis, your presentation, and your thinking process will be put in place. So guys, 20 minutes writing 300 words is not a big deal, right? First is just think, put your and then possibly try to address them. Standard SP Jain interview questions. Why MBA? I am still not able to get that question. Have any answer for why MBA?
Actually, I think best would be to be honest. That's my personal opinion because all through my interviews as well, I always went with whatever was true for me. Guys, this is why MBA and why this particular stream. The question you will definitely get either in group interview 1 or group interview 2. And what I've heard is these are the life-changing questions. Probably a bit of analysis would be required, self-exploration before you go in for the session. And please resort to Google. I think that is my only suggestion on this.
Hello.
A lot of answers for why MBA cannot be your personal answer. So I think better to be honest about it, whatever your reasons. Think about couple of
I think start on this one, Ankita, and then we'll take one question by one. Why MBA? I have to put it from my perspective. Why should that question be asked anyways? When I'm just saying, why should that question be asked? Because it's a career progression game for all of us. And the guy from work experience, please answer that question based on your work experience. That gives me a widening of my horizon. And I've seen in working profession that guys who are MBA grow a wider perspective about life, are better at decision making, able to appreciate different aspects of a corporate organization. And please put yourself as me, I'm an engineer, or I'm a BCom, or I am a lawyer, whatever. I have a lot of knowledge about my specialist field, but don't have much information about marketing or finance or commerce or whatever. Please, those answers based on experience. As Ankita says, don't give a Google answer. If I see a couple of names, I see one name on the top on my list is Rohit Gupta. And I have to say, Rohit, why? Rohit, positive question. Yes, I am an engineer, a computer engineer, or a civil engineer. In my life, I interact with these people in my corporate life. People who run their engineering or have one particular specialized way of looking at it, but possibly MBA gives me a wider horizon. Please think questions to your work experience or your personal experiences to the guys who don't have work ex here. That will add credibility to your answers. That is you have been got. Now, why SP Jain? So if I have to look at from a student's perspective, I've got 10 calls. SP Jain is one of them, so I'm appearing in all 10 of them. That's not that for SP Jain, it's for every MBA institute. Tom-tomming is required, but I think SP Jain here, one thing possibly, you say, be honest here that yes, I'm looking for, it's among the top 10 institutions. I've got calls from, there's no harm in speaking out, I've got calls from 3-4 other institutes as well. I would love to do my MBA from one of the most renowned institutions. As one of them. B, because Gasite is also not a fool, he knows that if you get a Ahmedabad, you will not join SP Jain. If you know I'm Calcutta, you will not join SP Jain. So, yes, as well. And of course, SP Jain is one of the higher rated institutions, so I would love to do it from here. No social angles, because you don't even know, or most of you wouldn't even know what social angle of SP Jain is. And if you by chance answer a question that I saw on the website that there's a social MBA and career launcher classes told us that there's a social MBA, and they ask you a question, okay, what's the social element of SP Jain MBA that you know of? You won't have. So please charter into entries. I have 5 interview calls. SP Jain is one of them. I would love a renowned institution. So that's a period. One, that depends on your interest, as Ankita was saying. Make up your answers. career linked into it. That I share my example because today working with Tata Motors and SP Jain asked me this question again: why do you want to do in marketing? First rate hitting me with having channel management after sales services there. And the question was so that I can see service as a technical aspect. I don't understand the commercial aspect of this business. I don't know what customer satisfaction is. I've heard those things a lot. I know the obstacles of management at the moment. And it'll take 10 years in the same work, but to widen my horizons to a longer aspect. And marketing, because that's where I have skills coming in from, I would like to hold, keeping in mind that aspects are also learned. This particular stream, guys, don't limit your answers to that particular stream. Why scope of that question, and then back to your particular stream. Why finance, and why I don't want to do finance, because this. It is streamlined, prepare answer after class 10 student or a class 12 student. Answering the question, they address it. On what is happening that chosen stream at present. This is something very related not only to the career stream, guys. This question could be
one more thing. One more stream. Guys, please don't also, when we're talking about, for example, I've selected marketing or selected finance, please do not start just by, degrading the other specializations. You're going to sit in a group kind of a situation. For example, I've heard a lot of people say operations does not have a lot of scope. HR not have scope. In management will limit me to IT. We make comments which are going to be, derogatory to other streams, because people are going to be sitting there, and this is a group interview. So people get a chance to comment on these kind of things as well. So be specific about the stream that you are opting for, but be careful about what you say. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Ankita. I think what Ankita says here, guys, just to add on to that element, specific to this question as well, seeing anything negative in any interview. Since Ankita chose the word derogatory, to tell why you are better. You have to tell why others are not good. Saying the other thing that he is not good or she is not good, you have your SP Jain certainly, but MBA institutions as well. With a positive mindset, a positive flow, somebody who can make a positive contribution to their institution. If the question is why not operations, I think marketing is more suitable for me. Put that, I think, Ankita, that's what you're trying to put across, right?
And at times we have those kind of, mental blocks as well, where we think that, yes, if you do finance, it opens up a lot of opportunity. But the moment you move on to some other streams, it becomes, so those kind of questions are asked and become challenging. So yes.
Absolutely right, Ankita. I think, guys, this is one question which if handled properly, I would say this is like Google, those of you who are associated with cricket, batsmen like Tendulkar who read Google well can hit six, but if you don't hit it well, you're out. So ask question with maturity, negativity associated with it, done it in a positive spirit, you're almost through. Keeping parameters consistent, this mature way of looking at things, as Ankita was pointing out, avoid the negative about others. General awareness on what is happening in that chosen stream at present. I would say, guys, not only on your stream, it will be linked to your forms. Somewhere you've written, and one is Dhoni written means after the third test. Is correct or not? Now, questions like this, based on interest, right? Value those options, go back to your form, see what is happening currently in your cricket domain in movement. So different hobbies like playing cricket or reading cricket or watching it, what in cricket team is happening, a lot of ups and downs at the moment. Then stock markets have market change things. Those of you who've written books, a lot of things are happening in that field. So Jain is not only for SP Jain, that would be vertically on all the all the interviews that you face in your coming time. My favorite point here is if you have work aches, which I think most of you would have, you will know how hard you work, right? Sure, some of you must be smiling at them saying that how hard you work as in your job and what value you add to the organization. This is you have some introspection. The last words, 6 words, that you add to the organization. Think about it. Is the most difficult point of introspection in your to gauge that properly. You are, I'm sure, are confident and you can handle all questions related to your work extensively, but 9 don't even understand what the questions are. On a deeper perspective, you certainly would be adding much bigger value, your own contribution, your work, your effort, and that is where you will get an answer why MBA. Sequence of name, form, resume-based questions, guys. These are basically the last point here, interview questions slide here on this one, is more of an icebreaker. In the sense that they don't know anything about you. The iceberg that you've written, the resume that you put across, that aspect of your life. To put on that one. What you've written there, you should borrow with at least 2 or 3 layers of questioning on that. Questioning, okay, I come from a place called Delhi. Okay, Delhi was destroyed and formed. It's okay, 7 times. So by Hastinapur, you know, the at least 2 or 3 layers of questions you should have on the form. You're a cricketer, you played cricket at national level. If you hockey national level, you've been a swimming participant. Get in place. That was diversified point, and group interview has one. Come back to the aspects of group interview after we get these questions one by one. As Ankita already highlighted the first point, don't talk about what you don't know. I don't secret operations. It's the other aspect of this statement is if be put of saying I'm sorry sir or I'm sorry ma'am, I don't know the exact matter. Nobody say you bored and don't know is not a job. Interviewer that if you don't want you accept it. Me 9 of questions we answer, and if we don't know the right answer, we cook stories, our assumptions. If you don't accept it, anybody who's a mature interviewer would appreciate your honesty. You'll give another chance for another question. Half this already said the first and second points. If you don't know it, if you be prepared to face this question, a class that comes to me from switching backgrounds could be that somebody who's worked in sales now wants to do an MBA in finance. He's put MBA finance or operations as the first option, or the first option. So linked together. Why do you? Is convincing enough to change? Or the background be a mistake? What is guarantee that the next option that you're choosing is not going to be a mistake 2 years down the line? Arrow firm is not wrong, but reasons, having questions, objectives. This is right or this is wrong. Give answers. Just when talks to you and gives you vague statements, what first impression you get? The first is that this guy is either cooking up stories, doesn't speaking, or he's waiting. When anybody else has this impression to others who cuss at the table, when you sell yourself, you have the same information. Be firm, be straight, be confident. These happen only when you've done your homework well on knowing your own self. Who am I? An interview, whether it's SP Jain or I am or who's whatever, who's not required anyway. The last statement says that make sure you know the real reason behind your decisions. जिंदगी में सब कुछ होता है. Life had many big changes. One example, Ravi Shastri. When he was playing cricket, he was not as much as he is mad today. When in commentary box, when management company takes him as their consultant, right? Things do, people do gain strengths and weaknesses, or weaknesses are staying progresses. But while talking to interview board, make sure the reasons or have the right assumptions before your decision. Consultant, fine. Why do you want to be a consultant? So, new organization, you want to be an entrepreneur. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Work. What is it? How does SP Jain add on to its social work? So, put things, and guys, I think here I'll just go as a plus one. Two things here. Ever yourself, I have a standard rule every candidate who comes. There are 20 or 25 questions which an interview board generally would ask. Write down answers, or having those voiceover recording systems, record those answers on one working or one holiday. Couple later, for interviewing somebody, you ask those questions to that candidate. exercise. Yourself will rate when your responses are convincing you, where you would like to select your own self. Those answers were there. Try voice recordings on your cell phones, listening, because we don't listen to what our voice gives. We speaking, we understand, we don't know conviction of our voice. We know confidence that our voice is giving to the other person. What sort of emphasis are different points during our communication. List your voice. You will automatically see whether you want to select yourself or not. And I think the candidates that have spoken so far out of 5 have come back with the first statement that if I myself, the way first recording has gone on my voiceover and I've listened to it, I've check yourself on being vague, have conviction in your voice, and talk logic and sense. Those we would put across. Now I think we have statistics, some web. The biggest point about SP Jain is the interview. Anita, before we come on to the group interview, would you like to cover up something where you think may have got missed out so far?
No, if you check these the links, if you go to SP Jain website, there are 2 interviews or webinars available from the professors there, trying to decode the group interviews for you, the process for you. So my suggestion is you guys have a look at it. Okay. The links that you see, they are from the SP Jain website. From the PGDM page, you'll find 2 webinars that the professor has done. So if you hit it, you will look at what exactly are they looking for in a candidate and all those kind of things. Okay. So then of the admissions process has taken this webinar for students. That is something that you should look at. That's it, Vineet. You can do interviews. Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Audible? Hello.
Yes, you can speak about this.
Thanks, Sankita, for these links. Now, V6 alphabet of interviews being there at next stage. What is the interview all about, and why is it so different than other interviews? Let's go back to that slide in which we coded the interviews and the questions, right? Have a group interview. The first here is there are 5, 7, as many candidates sitting together, and when many candidates sitting together, your one question being around all the 7 people, introduce yourself. It could be a bomb blast in place where if something happened in the recent past. It could be while an MBA. The idea to make something you feel with. that we are most comfortable talk about something that we are familiar and we are thorough with. So, why do you want MBA? You all know that. Or both things that you all know about it. Something simple or as neutral as a bomb blast if it has happened somewhere in the recent past could be the Gujarat coast or by the border. The topics the issue after the first fire of questions, they're cross questioning if panel feels that they are not convinced or they are not differentiate between different candidates. Now, cross doesn't happen from the candidates. To sum up what others have said, doesn't happen, but a couple of groups have discussed that in a couple of years, not last year, maybe a couple of years back. So, the chat such a relation is a talking logic, and question has come to the seventh person or the sixth person, or it's spoken by the first 5-6 people, right? So don't the people would have largely spoken about most of the ideas which were there. It would be unfortunate to expect a sixth person or seventh person to be creative to think about ideas. You are repetitive, but then use in such a way that there's something associated with you. Or I was the sixth person in my group among them. They had asked a question, but this was early, long time back. They had a question about Sachin Tendulkar, some cricket something Sachin has made a century or some record. Now everybody would have it and they would have had this question. But most of the points have already been said about Sachin, but I think Sachin's record now, going and support that he got, he should have made us long time back. Whether against just fielder bowlers or what is against something I don't remember exactly. So that little bit of flair from your side that though you are the sixth person, you missed the fact others have expressed, but they have thought something different than what others have spoken. You are the first person to answer such a question. No thing. So the default choice that we do is we have question yes, such really good. It was a couple of innings that he played, and we are proud of it. That right? It's called human choice. But when you are fifth, sixth, seventh, please add creativity to those points to add on to your marks. The second that cross examination could happen that they have seen that among the first 6-7 candidates in that group, number 5 haven't spoken much. So how do you rate what others have spoken? Now, of answering questions, if enough earlier, but you listening to candidates and their responses. We used to carry a small A4 paper and a pencil with us, and somebody would write something, say something, we would write onto it. And when they would listen to those points, they would also see how well you are comprehending information at that desk. And me, as we said, listening skills are as important as talking skills in a managerial position. the ability that some fact-based point is raised across. Candidates have views on those points. Some of could be contrary to each other. Well, others that was whether I'll give you an example, the current one, which is like whether Virat Kohli is mature enough to handle Indian cricket. And the discussion there would have two opinions. So, if of such a place, such a state, have your own opinion, guys. But please, that when you're adding value, when you're summing up the discussion, not opinion. You are them who heard, and you are summing up what all other 6-7 people have spoken. That's the most difficult one. On a topic, your opinion, but with the group, you should not communicate your personal opinion. To communicate it, please say that yes, the group's discussion, there were some members, and don't point out member 1 and member 2. There were some members who thought he was mature as a captain, and some people who said he was immature, but he would learn with age. Personal opinion is that yes, he would take some time, or he is already mature. Just point, but don't let your point miss group summary. If consistency of thoughts well positioned in your first interview and all are in sync, you certainly would have a shortlisting for second round, and is the place where of the depth of the person is taken care of. Already overall personality are 3 adjectives that I put across: your maturity, your personality. But this question or this interview is selected fit manager. There of an elimination round where they will see who's better, who's not better. The assessment of you as a human being. Yourself, if you're verbal, what your body language is communicating, there any challenge for you in any interview, whether I am or SP Jain, wherever. Again, dynamics, get negative. If I hear Ankita has said twice, don't get personal, stay mature. For doing that, to that you filled in, the way you has your weaknesses, your hobbies or achievements. Try to the latest happening in the world around them. Be questions on them. Except if negative statements or communicating negative body language. A group with 7 people speaking, 7 together, 1 person answering the question, which view contrary to that person. How your body language should be mature that yes, it's the person's view. You have to be overtly anything negative about it. Have your work fundas clear, have your hobbies clear, have achievements clear. Any other institute, no one can ever stop you. And I think value-based leadership, which the slide says, I'm sure when you have been called for the interview, your your forms communicated some form of leadership somewhere to your values. Values playing a bigger role than anything else, because at the end of the day, it's your values which make your life, which make being a complete human being, right? So these are नहीं आता है तो आता नहीं आता नहीं आता है. And I think with my single points I have thought through. I think we need to address some questions here. Audible?
Can you please part questions for Vineet about the group interview? You can message to Vineet or analyst, and we'll respond. Hands and message to raising the hand, so we know that you have questions. Raise your message to Vineet. Okay. Psychometric and VAT scores, look for shortlisting in round 2 is question from Ankur. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask
Ankur,
yes. Okay.
So the Ankur's question, psychometric test and what scores. I wouldn't say they are two, which means interview 1 to interview 2. I think that we have that much of time to go through them. At that time, there's so many things, but do play a role in this, the kid is on the right track or not. They are bring score. They would come towards the end of your finalization. But at this stage, guys, let me don't worry about these two things. You can't prepare for them. Don't prepare for psychometric tests. A positive attitude and what scores? Simple-ish, and crisp, whatever you have. So you don't have that shortlisting or not. Be it for interview 1 and interview 2, your written scores are always there. And Karthik says, any issues on what type of questions which may ask them? So, that question has come to me from a couple of other people. Guys, don't worry about you to ask the question or not. If you think you need to ask your question, one simple, of course, if you ask the question, I would say, I think I did my best, fairly in the interview, I put across the interview. Any feedback or suggestions for me? Put it there. Be smart. Any feedback, any questions that you have from us, you should not say whether I'm going to get selected or not. Believe me, the guy saying there is not going to appreciate you for your sense of humor. Sir, I need feedback from me. Period. What weightage of CAT web hubs here? What weightage of CAT that could be complete selection process? I would not be able to say what exactly is the weightage for CAT-ZAT scores, but yes, we do play a fairly decent role, but not bigger role to simple yes or no. Again, can you define parameter कि yes, this guy has certain basic English, certain ability of mathematics for a manager. So it's already the past. You have already got your CAT things in place. Don't worry. Even if you scored lesser on those things, you can compensate those scores in your interviews. Go hawk for the interview. CAT जो होना था हो गया, उसको सुधार नहीं सकते अभी, लेकिन इसको पूरा फोकस करके try getting onto that. Okay, now I think some of the questions from the Rishika writes, the cutoff for me remains 85% percentile even if I give it in phase 2, right? Now I don't understand what mean by this, Rishika. Rishika, can you put across one? Do you that I would be
from
good enough
Rishika
against people who get 95 percentile in CAT, or on this basis I should go to Mumbai to increase my chances?
that she's got a profile-based call. She does not want to go to Mumbai for the phase 1 interview. Okay. She's going in phase 2 and appearing for the interview in Delhi. Basically, will that impact her chances is a question.
As you know, what is guys? One point is, what is the meaning of interview? Interview is it has two simple words. Inter means between. Do means to see. They are going to see you as a candidate, and also going to see them that happening, whether that's the right set of people you want to do your MBA from, right institute. Answering your question, I actually don't see a difference in either of these choices. So call based on your convenience. It's in Mumbai or in Delhi. You as a human being or you as a candidate have the same institute. Only I say is have faith in yourself. Which is convenient to you, do that. Chances of selection they determine, you can't determine at this stage. So that'll happen only when they've gone through all the stages. So I would say a call on your personal choice. Questions?
Ankur has a question. Our hobbies and interests need to be backed by certificates and proof.
I can read that question. So, Arpita, Ankita, you can speak that again.
Basically, hello, Ankur. See, hobby is something that you do in whenever you feel, right? Something that you follow passionately. Doesn't necessarily have to be backed by certificates. I'm not sure you could actually do it. For example, if I'm a bathroom singer, that's my hobby. Can I back it with, or for example, I am a sand artist or something of that sort? Can I back it up with certificates? Very, very difficult. However, hobbies and interest areas. If you are going to say, I want to, I work with social organizations or I am a part of NGO or voluntary organizations, then probably yes, those kind of interests would need to be backed by relevant certificates. But otherwise, you could have interest. For example, if you have interest in, analyzing a football or a cricket match every time it happens, can you back it up with a certificate? Not really. So it depends on what you're trying to actually put across.
Thank you, Gita. Just on to it, guys. Hobby is not something that is as a part of your achievement. Hobby is always, and that's not only limited to SP Jain, guys. Just see that you get this thing. This thing that shows interest. Now, as Ankita says that you then you have knowledge of that field, that if I ask you questions on credit and those matches, answer them confidently. Hobby areas. Now, somebody so which is what sort of hill you climbed? Sir, rocky and snowy. Okay. Which is a hill which has not been climbed so far, which has not been scaled so far. So, the certificates, they would not even check there. They don't have. But we would like to see whether the hobby that has been written there, has it been written for the sake of writing it on that piece of paper, or that hobby is ingrained into you and you have enough gut feel and enough experience of that hobby to make them, convince them that they are asking the right thing to the right person. Yeah. Says one question. If average academics and superb work ex 3 years, award achievements and 97 plus CAT, 97 percentile plus CAT score, what a profile plus score based call? These things actually are comparative. How does the complete score of that you've written come with the people who have applied to the institution at the same point? So I don't think at this I can answer this question, or anybody could answer that question. But at this, I would only say, guys, if we are getting questions like that, what you to do on CAT or ZAT or WorkX or whatever has been done. Change your CAT scores, or your WorkX, or your hobbies. Work positively towards your interviews a success. Get it in place. Those things right. And you've done those CAT things, and after you've done your interview scores, you automatically would see what values or what differences have been in your overall purchases and rankings as compared to other candidates. Roy says that he's read an article on Pagal that there are various parameters as super, go satisfactory. Different that score range on these parameters. Lighter win, I'm should have asked Pagal guy the same question, right? The question, guys, is again super, good, and satisfactory are grades. I'm not sure whether the right grades are there or not, but certainly we have to evaluate candidates. We certainly would do on certain elements. But what score or what certificates define super? What defines satisfactory is anybody's guess. So, guys, CATs that you will have done excellent in your part. You all in super CAT scores, hobbies, and great achievements. Interviews are there with you. Think about, forget whatever you had so far. Think on interviews. If you heard of Arjun, I'm able to see only the eye of the bird. Guys, interviews at this stage, think like that. Don't think about how you read. These are there with you. Take the interviews, prepare for them. Ravi Bhola says, do we need to take all original documents? Ravi, check with them. They have held there somewhere. Check with the documents, because I'm not sure what sort of documents you need there, and they change from time to time.
Mention in the email, Ravi. The mail sent to you. But they'll mention exactly what. The question question from Samriddhi. Vineet, is there any time when we are asked to question our co-candidate?
Can be. There be a chance where you may have question you. That this is like a Google. If you get right, nobody will stop you. It says that how do you that particular candidate? The first thing is the word that he's been asked. Do you agree to that person or do you disagree with that person? The question is, it is asking for your opinion. But rate that candidate if that question comes, guy, sorry, but I'll not be able to rate that person as she is one of the kids as I am there. And don't even speak out anything. Extra maturity. Her opinion, my opinion can go his way or against her. Right? Avoid rating another candidate. You have an opinion which runs sync with that person or runs counter to him. But for saying that, my personal view is not in sync with her. It goes against that. But this is my opinion.
Answer your question. Do you get to question your co-candidates? Yes, SP Jain once in a while has been known to ask you to question other people. So they just, they'll just ask you to take the interviewer's manual.
By doing so.
Yes. Sorry?
Doing so, guys, just see that the tonality of your questioning is simple. Don't get too probing mode. Because in a question, you are being monitored. And your behavior is also being monitored, right? Beam the question because you have been asked to do that. But too incisive or too negative and questioning because that's a normal tendency that we have. When question, okay, you ask him a question, we generally interrogative in tonality when we have to ask somebody. Make the tone of interrogation there. And the question, how Adab says, how would anyone with excellent acads and poor extracurriculars on why engaged during an interview? Because, interview panel, they one or two questions. Some written on the profile form. So, if you, again, I said, if you know what you've written and you've got a couple of players there's not anybody who would have IC. How cats add poor extracurriculars during an interview. They do there based on certain things. So if there, you're only because of good acads or poor extracurriculars or vice versa. You because though you said and you claim that you have poor extracurriculars, your acads have brought to that level that they see, oh, this person is balanced. And there, I may be scoring about 60% in my 12th class. But if I Ranji Trophy in cricket, then my achievement in cricket has outshined my acads there, right? So, within yourself, if you have been called here for an interview, it is because they have seen you a composite personality with strengths, weaknesses. Because not come across anybody in my life so far who doesn't have any weakness. People going to interview you are also human beings. They also have strengths and weaknesses. expect that people who they are interviewing are also human beings with certain strengths and certain weaknesses. So don't you have a weakness? You should be, yes, it's my weakness. I'm working on it. So weaknesses, not a weak. I'm not weak. So don't do that. You are human, and they are also human. So don't worry. One, in the interview, be humane. If you are again that if panelists have questions for them, okay, after the interview, generally people, there are candidates who say, okay, from our side, guys, interview has gone. I answered that question earlier, but I think this question comes to me second time, so I'll just widen the scope here. You after the interview is gone, and you all any feedback, any questions from our side, we have taken that question lightly and said, okay, sir, so when should I join? And that's the statement. So when it's starting? Oh, what you? And they would say, oh, this guy's immature, or taking us too lightly. Maturity at the interview level. If they ask you a question, if you have any questions from us, let us know. Sir, by what do you think we would come to know about our results? We are talking about all the candidates together. So that you get an impression that yes, you are looking forward to results. Sir, me in the interview board, any feedback from me was on the learning curve. Sir, I don't have any question. Fair. You don't question perfectly just because they have put you an opportunity to you. Ask only if you feel you need to ask them. Feel like asking a question, simply thank you very much. I don't have any question at this stage. But when you do that, do it in tone with warmth, which means keen to know about the results and right overboard by asking questions when do I join or whatever. Now there comes from Neeraj Mehta. I will focus on phase 1. Our slots for phase 1 have been reopened today. But I have not yet prepared to appear for interviews in Jan 2nd, so I won't book a slot. How does that affect my chances? Check with dates there. Sure, yes. When do they announce the results? Because this will determine the open available in the waiting list and the confirmed list. But I don't delay it further. For interviews, the only thing you need to prepare for interview is be yourself, be true to yourself, be confident of yourself. Nothing will change. Right? Next question comes from Deepika. Could what during group 1 interview? I haven't heard of that one because say ask them and then the interview evaluating that is a bit difficult. Yes, SP Jain is known to have certain surprises at times, so don't really ignore it. But it has not been asked to my knowledge.
It is right. This VAT from SP Jain, in the places, it has happened that there are questions on VAT, but SP Jain, at from the process, what we know of the process, last year it was checked by an external agency. So once you had written the psychometric and VAT, after that it was taken for evaluation. So the interviewer or the panelist will not really have a clue about what you've written in the VAT. Last year this was what was happening. And we are GD during the interview.
No, there could be a affected GD, which means they ask to speak something, they ask the other person to speak another thing, which I candidate want you to express your opinion on this one. Okay, can you what your take on this? How do you say that candidate for wrong? But like another institution where people in a group they talk based on whatever different times. It will be a very moderated stuff. But the format of GD has not happened in SP Jain so far. If it's time, I'll surprise the camp.
Question on job profiles of the companies. Last time they asked me the potential company I want to join. Depends on, are you very clear on what exactly do you want to do? Or are you going to explore? I would suggest you could rather leave this question open-ended.
I think, Ankita, it's a very interesting question. You would come across in an interviewer, what leads me to ask this question? How has the interview progressed so far? We are supposed to ask this question, and I'm slightly trying to understand this, that what happened in the first few questions in that interview. So such a closed question, because there are two types of questions, guys, in the interviews: the closed-ended and the open-ended. The ones are the ones which have a specific answer. Yes, capital of India. There's only one capital, right? So, I'm not sure if you did a lot of tom-tomming about a career that you want to do after MBA, go to a bigger thing. This makes me interpret it. Is it you a lot of during the interview? We want to do XYZ and have open some good things in my sector. And again, the question that which company do you think is the ideal company? When somebody is putting that question, which company do you want to join? Interpreted question that you said so many good things. Do you think has all the things that you've spoken so far? That's why with the interview statement that don't talk stick. It exists. You've not seen it. Be grounded. And which you want to join? If you still have to get that question, and unfortunately you get into a situation where this question comes to you, when do you want to join? Put across a question that's a limited information that I have today. I do 2-3 these companies like that. However, the job file and the problem and the take with bigger importance than just a company. I like a lot. I'm sure I really appreciate that company. Ask me to be gatekeeper in that company. Would I do that? Not. Small company which is about say 10 crores annual turnover, with profit about 1 crore. They are to be the CEO or the chairman of this company. Would you say no? I don't not interested. Yes, right. So such questions, avoid questions put across. Yes, sir. I am looking at a job profile where I learn something, contribute something, value to do something. Money is important, but more importantly, it should be a career opportunity of learning and growing. Right? So questions and those answers, guys. There not to fix a company. You are there to learn. Express that in your interview. No, I have read that. Just a minute, Nupur. I think I just got shifted on the question. At my workplace for a project. Does that need to be back to some letter from the organization? Nupur, team lead form doesn't how is related to your particular organization and your responsibility there will automatically communicate whether you were there, right? And I write that I was the president of my club, but when 5 questions that automatically would express Haro club I'm talking about wasn't there or not. So don't worry on these things. Just keep yourself that whatever you have profile you are thought that. As says in the SOP, they asked 2 questions. Are interested in entrepreneurship after MBA? Would like to opt out of placements? There are 2 states. I am not too sure though why they have come to US specifically. SP also has some forms, some courses for private students who are entrepreneurial product oriented or they come from entrepreneurial family. And there's another one that will choose to stay out of placements, which reduces the work of the placement committees when you join.
Questions, rise, I think, as Vineet was saying, reduces the work of the placement committee. One. Second is, us say entrepreneurship is something that we really want to do. So I'm ready to, put my stakes on that. That's something that they want to actually look at. But suggestion is, unless you are really sure that you want to come back and, work with the family business or something of that sort, opting out of placements may not be, again, on you, but very frankly may not be a very good decision at this point, because it is 2 years down the line when you will actually look at this. Okay. Like I was saying, to my answer, can you please? No? Okay. And Rishika has a question, something which a lot of people ask. Should you to Mumbai phase 1 into or prepare better and give the interview later? Those of you who have taken the dates, you've already decided. Yet to choose.
The XYZ can have an average salary of this much. When you're there,
You are yet to decide. I think decide on the basis of the preparation that you have. Because without preparation does not make sense to go and book a slot and give the interview. You have hardly 10 days left. So decide on whatever preparation you have. If you think you're not prepared, please choose phase 2. And already chosen phase 1, please start self-awareness and self-exploration.
Am I
You're audible.
Thanks. I lost connection. Yeah, Rohit, coming back to your statement. See, the second choice is that, coming back to your second point, all
Now, on specialization she has chosen is in accordance to her work experience. However, is work experience of a year justifiable enough at the time of interview? Or do I come across as impulsive as deciding on short experience? We like something, whether can I see myself working in that particular area for the next, 30, 40 years of my life, to be precise, is something that I think you should be able to decide at this point of time. However, if I'm not able to explain... Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
No, I messaged from Rohit. It's not audible again.
Yes, now you're audible again. And I've answered Rohit's question. So, Nupur's question I was taking up, you could probably look at it. Nupur's question. Okay. Basically, as I was saying,
the average salary that their batches have got.
Vineet, you're audible now. Can you please repeat the question and then answer it? Because we missed out on that part.
Yeah, Rohit's question was that the functionality of having a question, should we sit for placements or not? Yeah?
Answered that actually. Can we look at Nupur's question, Vineet? The specialization I've chosen is in accordance to my work experience.
Okay. The specialization I've chosen is in accordance to my work experience. However, work of a year justifiable enough at the time of interview? Or do I come across impulses deciding on a short experience? Convinced that you've chosen the specialization as per work ex, don't have to be impulsive. Nobody do impulsive. But you should be able to your work ex in a link, which means I'll cut to somebody who are join career in sales for a year and marketing management. Perfect, right? You want sales and marketing, so it's together. If you're working in a factory, worked here, working at operations management, perfectly like. Banking sector or insurance sector, look finance, perfect line. If you're holding job for first year and looking for a IT management, perfectly aligned. There's nobody who is going to rate impulsive on just a year's experience. It's in career field, career path that you think will add value to you.
No. Yes, Vineet, we can hear you.
I answered that question from.
Yes. That's, I think that was the last question that we had. Any other questions? Interview on a profile-based call.
No, that because that depends on the number of applicants on profile based.
We cannot give a number on that. However, what again, if you look at the webinar links that I shared, what is 50%, 50% again, but I would not like to really concrete evidence, but what they say is 50% on the basis of profile and 50% on the basis of profile plus CAT. But officially, we really don't know. Like to, is there any difference on the weightage of CAT scores in profile-based calls and second-phase calls?
These things keep dynamic. So again, as I said, Ankita, the whole thing is, guys, if there's something for a candidate in your pool, it is going to be there for you as well. Going to be? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's nothing which is going to be different for you as a candidate from your pool. You do worry about it. And if you worry, you can't do anything about it. So worry about something that you can do. Be well for your interviews. Confident of your own self. Thorough with your profile form that you've sent. You then not only for SP Jain, for any interview that you take, you're going to take. And the interview, fair, a true and a genuine person who knows how to carry himself or herself. No anywhere. SP Jain or any other job interviews or other MBA institutions. We have other questions? Any more questions?
Do you give on the spot offers?
Yeah, there was one candidate in batch who was given a spot offer. There was something which the fees, the first installment of the fees, about 15 days or something. But spot offers in the last couple of years. Ankita, and this, the data has gone here otherwise?
Yes, even last year there was a spot offer. Okay, so spot offers, yes. Yeah.
The girl who I'm referring to in my batch was a gold medalist in mathematics honors from Delhi University. So that's the profile that they had.
Also, there was one spot offer, but the candidate was a physical disability, and despite that, he had a very good CAT score and a very good academic background. So he was visually impaired, and despite that, he was in a proper, a DU college again, and so yeah, that's spot offer last time as well. So you're not honored of in SP Jain, okay? I think chosen operations and have worked in IT, recently moved to manufacturing, hence justifying operations as my selection. Explore, why did you switch to manufacturing? And rather than information management.
Absolutely right. And I think, one thing which is happening now is whether in banking sector, you're in operations sector, you're in aviation, you're Navy, wherever IT is forming the backbone, anywhere. Try to those links and try to see which have you shifted from one place to the other. Understanding of IT sector, is that really IT sector or is it just a facilitator to operations or marketing or aviation? So those things in place, as Ankita says, explore more about that field. You will have the right answers with yourself before you go to the interview. you.
Okay, yes, guys, I think that's from our end. All self, and I think that's the answer to everything. Add anything, Vineet?
Wish you all the best, and as Ankita says, be true to yourself. And one day, you all will be successful managers. And, which institution you join in, I'm sure you would be there to add values to your institution, your families, and to all of us. Thank you. Wish you all the best.
Thanks, guys. The last. Be done.